WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Ireland. As you can see by these three interesting labels, I have the Red Earl. This is my candidate for today. I have the Spanish Earl, which is a single malt Irish whiskey. And finally, I have the Great Earl, which is a single grain. Now, this came out 2022. This was 2021. 2020, 2021, and 2022, there was a cask strength, which I do not have. So I'm just going to get rid of these two bottles. I'll do a comparison in the other videos that are coming. And I would like to actually compare this to this. So this is the Dead Rabbit. This is from the Liberties. This is Irish whiskey, which means always a blend. It is not a single malt. And what we have here is a product of the Kinsale company. 2016 distilled, 2020 here it was then bottled, 4 years of age. So, Great Northern Distillery. The Dead Rabbit Irish whiskey is 44%, so it's a little bit unfair. But it is 38 euros, and I think it's actually a fairly good whiskey. The biggest difference I notice when I taste the two of these is this is basically 80% grain, in my opinion, and 20% malt. This is 60% malt and 40% grain, and I really notice a big difference in the flavor profile. And it's 5 years, 4 years. All right, Whiskybase number 161192. Now, if I go to the website here from Kinsale Spirits, it will all talk about the Battle of Kinsale. Do you know about the Battle of Kinsale? Neither did I. We're talking about 1601 to 1602, way before the Americans ever did anything, all right? So before we claimed our independence. Now, as bold as the hero that inspires it, look at his hair, Hugh O'Connell is known as one of the great heroes of Irish history. Sorry, my Irish history is very, very, very weak. As chieftain of a powerful Irish dynasty in northwestern Ireland, he led success of numerous battles against the forces of Queen Elizabeth I. He became Earl of Tyrconnell. Oh, we know that from whiskey. After escaping 5 years of captivity in Dublin Castle, at the hands of the English army, aided by Hugh O'Neill, the Great Earl. So, that's him. We'll talk about that next video. All right, he fled across mountains in the harsh Irish landscape in the height of winter, and as a result suffered severe frostbite. I didn't really know it got that cold in Ireland. Sorry. Losing a big toe from each foot. As chieftain, he formed a number of alliances with various Irish clans to challenge English power in Ireland. This includes the powerful alliance with a rival clan, the O'Neills, led by his future father-in-law and courageous leader, the Great Earl. Nope, that's the Spanish Earl. That's still the Great Earl. All right, very, very good. So, together they fought in the 9 Years' War. It's interesting. I typed in 9 Years' War into Wikipedia, and what did I get? Not the Irish War. I was like 150 years later. It's like, what's going on here? Why isn't something about Ireland? And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, then it's had a little bit, the Irish 9-Year War. Together they fought in the 9-Year War to drive the common enemy out of Ireland. It began promising as the Irish won substantial amounts of victory. And they won some victories. After persuasion from O'Donnell and O'Neill in 1601, Spain's King Philip III sent Don Juan de Aguila and Don Diego Brochero to Ireland with basically about 4,000 Spanish men to help fight their common enemy. Unfortunately, at the peak, there were 18,000 English soldiers in Ireland at that time, and 7,000 soldiers met those 4,000 at Kinsale, which is 15 kilometers south of Cork, which still has a port that you can go into, and surrounded them and absolutely demolished the Spanish army. All right, says here, however, when they arrived at the port of Kinsale, they were surrounded by English troops, which eventually followed in Irish defeat. Eventually, it was like within hours. All right, so the English had a cavalry. The Irish did not. They have horses and they were throwing spears, but the cavalry on the open field was finally what the one Wikipedia actually said. One entry said they had been praying for an open field battle to prove the valor of the British forces. And they demolished, absolutely annihilated the Irish there, finally. The Irish were good at fighting a little bit of a guerrilla warfare, but they were not good at that, just like the Americans were not good at actually having a open field battle that the British loved. All right, so the battle of Kinsale saw the loss of many lives and many Irish and Spanish lives, and the Irish army returned to Ulster, and Red Hugh set off to Spain to seek further help as Ireland was now completely under the British rule. What is really interesting, 1601, Queen Elizabeth I, we actually have now the conquering of the Gaelic Irish nations. All right, so there was really never a nation, but there was the Gaelic Irish, and starting with 1601, Ireland finally fell completely under the rule of the English, which until today, many people, at least in the Republic of Ireland, still hate the British, and we still have the Northern government. Northern Ireland is still governed from England. So that's one of the things. So let's see how long that lasts. Ooh, political. Don't say that, Jason. So the Irish army returned to Ulster, and Red Hugh sent off to Spain to seek further help, as they were now under the rule. And Red Hugh died after just 9 months there, where it's believed he was poisoned by a English spy while he slept. Today he is buried near the Rjoja wine region in Spain. And now that leads back to this whiskey, which leads back to the ex-bourbon and the Rioja and the sherry. I've been at so many whiskey fairs, my voice is going. Sorry. Okay, what do we have here? We have ex-bourbon matured single grain from Great Northern. We have triple distilled malt whiskey that had been matured for 45 months in ex-sherry casks. And then they were married together for further 4 months in ex-Rioja wine casks. I don't know about you, but I can still see my face. So we have a triple cask. We have ex-bourbon. How old were the bourbon casks? At least second, if not third fill. How old was the Rioja? How old was the sherry cask? How many times had they been used before? I really don't know. And now, nowhere does it say natural color. Unfortunately, I would love to have a natural color. I would love to have a non-chill filter, which I really can't believe at 40%. But this whiskey is fairly light. Triple cask, not much wood influence. Will I notice the Rioja? Will I notice the sherry? Will I notice the bourbon? We'll see. Now this, this probably has coloring. We're at 44%. But this has a wonderful, wonderful nose. Was it made at the Liberties? No. Is it Bushmills? Probably not. Is it Cooley? I guess. This definitely is Great Northern. So, 38 euros, 33 euros. This I like on the nose. This I get very, very light red currants. I get very, very light red apple. I get a little bit of I'm going to say 80% grain, 20% malt. I'm going to say 60% malt and 40% grain. I get a grain note here. Nothing's wrong with a good single grain, but I'm not getting a good single grain. I'm getting a young, not yet mature enough single grain, in my opinion. Now I have to be very careful. Colin, hi. I know one of the business partners of this. We've been together. We've ate dinner together. And so I'm still going to be as honest as I can without being brutally honest. All right? So without being brutally unkind. I'll be honest. All right. 40%, 44%. I like this. Cheers. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not a big fan of the finish. I do get light. All right, comes in a little bit watery, 40%, a little bit thin. Let's just call it thin. But then it does turn up the heat a little bit. That there's really young grain in here. 4-year-old grain from a probably not first fill bourbon cask, second fill, third fill. In my opinion, not yet where it should be. There is a sweetness. There is a little bit of wood. There is a little bit of an almond moment going on there. Is it a good, great whiskey? No, this is a C minus, going on a D plus on a bad day. This is really not what I want. There's a pepperness here. There's a spicy. There's a hotness of the liquid, and there's a lot of grain in here, not doing the job it should be doing, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. So not the whiskey I was hoping for. Over here, the Dead Rabbit. Mm-hmm. Hmm. It is interesting to see the difference between the two. Oh, that has a nice. So, ah, this is a C to C plus whiskey. On a good day, it's a C actually. But in comparison, the 5 years and the higher percentage of single malt, it does cost €5 more, 38 versus 33. But this is something that I would really recommend for someone looking at that at a bargain. Oh, what I really recommend, and that's going to be the question of the day. You have €35. What do you do with it? You have 35 pounds. You have $35. I would go out and buy another Bushmills 10-year-old. I had a bad batch once, and I banged on a little bit, but that has gotten much better. The 10-year-old, absolutely my thing. Would I buy this? No, I would buy this first, and then this second. Kinahan's has a cask, KASC, which is very interesting. Now, which whiskey you only have €35 to spend would you go out and buy? So I've seen this on sale for €35. Standard price in Germany is 33.90. So I get €1 to do what I want to. Here, it used to be 28 to €30. So very briefly, let's ask here. Google Bushmills 10. So I'm going to be paying a price at the moment of €25. €25 is the price that I can get this at the moment. All right, $25.99, 24 at Amazon. So 22 I can get on sale here at the moment. So under €26. All right. So that's the one I would go for. And I said you can have €35, and I still have €10 left. I would buy this. This is what I would go for. All right, so I'll be doing a video of the other two. They'll be coming out over the next weeks or so. So WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American. I do like the label. I think the Red Earl and the Great Earl and the Spanish Earl, they have something. The mixing of the Irish history as well as the whiskey is a fairly interesting marketing strategy. I think that's good. I would appreciate it if the whiskey had been a little bit more on the mature side than what I had in my glass. All right, thank you very much. WhiskyJason here. Thank you for sharing, liking, and telling others. All the best. Bye-bye.